Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. I am Ryan Bowling. Thank you all for joining me once again. I hope you guys have had a great, happy 4th of July and enjoyed time with your families and your fireworks and all that good stuff. But unfortunately, we have to cover some craziness here. I guess this interview happened sometime during the 4th of July. When exactly during that day of the 4th of July, I really don't know. But apparently, from this article that I'm about to read to you guys, Biden was interviewed by a particular news source. And in this interview, he basically slipped up, and said some of the most craziest things, basically saying that he's a black woman and the first black woman and vice president and just crazy stuff. I'm going to get right into this article and read to you guys the transcript of what he apparently said. But it is apparently clear and should be clear to anyone that is listening to Biden and listening to him talk that clearly this man is suffering. He's really, really suffering, and it is a doggone shame that the Democrats are allowing this man to continue on. It's a shame. Let's get right into this. And I'm not here making fun of Biden as a person, per se, although I think he's a freaky in some areas. But anyway, President Joe Biden referred to himself as the first black woman to serve with a black president and the first president that got, quote, elected statewide in Delaware when I was a kid in his latest baffling interview. Listeners of Pennsylvania radio show WURD were confused to hear Biden stumble through a list of his purported accomplishments in the black community as he appeared to trip over his words when talking about serving as former President Barack Obama's vice president and choosing Vice President Kamala Harris as his own. Apparently, this is what he said. By the way, I'm proud to be, as I said, the first vice president, first black woman to serve with a black president, he told host Andrea Lawful Sanders. Now, I don't know what context that was in or whatever, but that's weird, right? That's really weird. I'm proud of the first black woman in the Supreme Court, he added, referring to Justice Brown Jackson. Wow, this is pretty bad, man. And of course, they have a picture of Biden, and he's, how Biden looks when he gets confused, and he starts to, it's like he doesn't know where he's at. He's like, the poor man doesn't even know where he's at. Unbelievable. Prior to the racial confusion, Biden also touted the accomplishment of becoming elected when he was a, quote, a kid. Apparently, this is what he said as well. I remember as a Catholic kid growing up in an area where we didn't like Catholics. Thanks for telling us that you didn't like Catholics. Okay. I'm the first president elected statewide in the state of Delaware when I was a kid, Biden told Lawful Sanders. Oh, that's bad, man. That's bad. Social media users began having a field day with a new batch of gaffes, poking fun at the Democrats' nonsensical attempts at virtue signaling to the black community. And they go into detail of this. One particular image on X, formerly known as Twitter, has that old picture of the Democratic Party when Biden was campaigning during the first time for the presidency. And they had that old picture of the Democrats with Nancy Pelosi in the middle, and they're all kneeling. I don't forget exactly where they were kneeling. They're all kneeling on their knees with their heads bowed down like this, and they're wearing these African garbs over their neck, looking like a bunch of idiots. And clearly that's virtue signaling. I don't see how we as black people, well, I didn't fall for that nonsense, but I don't see how so many black people fall for that. What does that have to do with your day-to-day life? Hey, come on now. Is that supposed to be showing solidarity with black people? Do we walk around with these kind of garbs on? It's unbelievable. But it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. The virtue signaling is insane. And one particular person says, a comedian acts, he says, Terrence K. Williams says, this is getting out of control. Joe Biden is suffering from dementia. The president is an 81-year-old white man who thinks he's a black man, said comedian Terrence K. Williams. It's going to get worse. Exactly. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. It's pretty bad. Peter Dale a Democrat campaign strategist and former advisor to Hillary Clinton's 2008 campaign, reacted on X with, quote, "Make this stop. It's criminal negligence on the part of the Democratic Party." Yeah, you don't say. Wow. This is pretty bad, man. That's messed up. Even with members of his own party begging him to step down, Biden's campaign is still insistent on a second term for the 81-year-old man. Amar Moussa, a spokesperson for the president's re-election campaign, ripped the media for reporting on Biden's latest slip-up. Of course, they're going to, talk crazy here. It was clear what President Biden meant when he was talking about his historic record, including a record number of appointments to the federal bench, Moussa told the New York Times, which recently published an opinion piece from the editorial board calling on Biden to step down following his poor debate performance. And this is absurd. Moussa reiterated in a follow-up post on X. It was abundantly clear what the president meant. This would be considered a perfect normal speech pattern for any other person in America, and has certainly been normal for Joe Biden for his entire career. What are we even doing anymore? Wow. And that's the end of that article there. Yeah. Like I said, you guys may have seen that interview, listened to that interview, and maybe not. You was out enjoying time with your family and enjoying the 4th of July. I had to work. It is what it is. But our boss did get some stuff together. We had a little shindig over there in the office. And, we did. I was able to get a little food, so it wasn't that bad, Plus, I got to pay time and a half, so not too bad, right? But I just wanted to say something real quick about that. What else really can you say about something like that, right? What else can you really say about it except that it's clear that Joe Biden is really suffering, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And it's not going to be pretty if the Democratic Party doesn't do something to try to solve this major problem. It's going to really look bad for the second debate, if there's going to be a second debate. I think supposed to be in September, and then moving forward, it's going to really, really look bad for him. And look, I know people would say, well, it's just his gaffes and the fact that he's suffering mental decline and so forth, but his policies are okay. No, his policies are terrible. You add those two together, his policies that are hurting American citizens and the fact that this man's mental state of mind is in severe decline. So you add those two together, and I can't help but wonder who in their right mind would vote for this man. I've heard people saying things like Joe Biden is a great president and he's really, really, really helping the country, but they never name what it is that he's doing that's so good for the country. I mean, even people on the far left are coming against him because even though he told them he was going to do this and that for these far left loonies, he never really did it. He just said what he said to get their votes. And that's usually how these politicians do anyway. They lie to get your votes, get in office, and do something totally different. So even the far left radical communist Marxist nutbags out here, and that's all I'm going to call them because they're not sane, okay? And I'm not taking that back. I'm not apologizing. That's what they are. Even they're turning against him because he has not fulfilled the promises he said he was going to fulfill and creating basically a communist government. That's what they want. He hasn't done it. So what is he doing that is beneficial to the country? If even the radical loonbag Marxists are turning against him, what is he doing that's great for the country? Name it. What? He appointed Vice President Kamala Harris as the first black female black vice president. She's not a black person. She's mixed. From what I understand, mixed with an Indian and an Indian person and a black person or something like that. She's not purely black. She's biracial. But they err on the side of her being black to get us black folks to vote for her. During the debate, I don't know if anyone remember this, how soon people forget, but during the debate, Kamala Harris bombed Joe Biden. I think she called him either a racist or something. I can't remember all the details, but said he had lied about something. It was crazy. And to say these type of things about Joe Biden during the debate, and then Joe Biden come right behind and elect her and choose her to be the vice president, makes utterly no sense whatsoever except for virtue signaling. And us black folk, woo, the first black person. Man, them Democrats is not, they ain't bit more thinking about you black folks than nothing. I'm not talking about anyone watching this video, okay? But they're not thinking about black people worth of none. All you are to them is a vote. They could care less about it. Put them in power so that they could push their globalist one world government. That's all they looking for. That's all they about. They ain't a bit more thinking about these black people than two left shoes. And we keep falling for it. But anyway, yeah, this is clearly a mental decline that needs not to be repeated. But the Democrats they don't have much of a choice right now, because what I'm hearing, they've talked about getting Gavin Newsom in there, but it might be too late. And Gavin Newsom is destroying California. California is a hellhole from what I'm hearing. Okay, I don't live there, but this is what I'm hearing. And I've done some videos on that and some reports on that. So people might not fall for that. You know, they might not fall for Gavin Newsom, man. You know, because you can be a persuasive rhetoric speaker all day, but if you're screwing up your own state, you know, then that's not going to work, or it may not work. Some have argued Kamala Harris, she's the next in line, but accordingly, no one likes her because when she ran to be the president, which she did, she got 0 votes. She failed dismally. I mean, she was dismal. She was horrible. So what does that tell you? No one wants to vote for her. No one sees her as the president. Although constitutionally, she would be the next in line if Joe Biden can't make it. So it's iffy with Gavin Newsom. It's a no-go with Kamala Harris. I think the other person is Michelle Obama. I'm hearing rumors about Michelle Obama coming in there, and Michelle Obama is more liked, obviously, than Kamala Harris. She's well liked, but I really don't know much about her political views. If her political views are anything like Barack Obama's political views, then they're not going to help America. Barack Obama is a soft socialist and a soft communist, and part of the reason why we have all this push with this transgender stuff going on in the schools and so forth, and part of the reason for that is because of Barack Obama, particularly under his second term. He pushed for that. So we don't. If Michelle Obama's policies are in line with Barack Obama's policies, then we don't need her. And I hope and pray to God the American people, if the Democratic Party decide to put her in there, will see that and not just vote for her because they like her. Policies is what matters. I done said that ad nauseum. But telling people that, it's like, man, it's like it's go in one ear and go out the other. It's like, what are you talking about policies? I don't even know what that is. Okay, well, let me define it to the people. Not you guys. I'm just saying, I have to define it. Okay, policy is their worldview. When they get in office, it's not about whether you like them or not or dislike them. It's their worldview that they're going to push. If their worldview is an oppressive, screwed up, draconian worldview, that's what's going to have influence in your life, boo-boo. You got to pay attention to that. And not because you like the person or don't like the person. That's a part of it. Okay, you want to like the person that's going to be the president. You want to like them, but it has to go further than liking someone. It has to be their worldview. But anyway, nevertheless, yeah, this is crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy how this man's mind is just going in an entirely different direction. And I think that the Democratic Party, as one of the individuals said in the article, it's a shame that the Democratic Party would push this man and push him and push him and push him. But as one particular YouTuber said, I believe ABL said this, they have no other alternative. They have no other choice. Well, so they have. So we're going to see how this runs out. we're gonna see how this runs out, because if Trump don't win this term, then I don't know if they find some way to keep Trump from getting in, which the Democrats are so desperate they're gonna have to do that. Then I don't know, Now let me start ending the video on this. I see the Democrats becoming so desperate that they're going to push virtue signaling to the point where it's going to make people want to literally vomit, like literally. I know that sounds kind of gross, but literally it's going to make people like want to just vomit. And I hope black people will pick up on that and be like, no, it's too late, bro. You are a dismal failure. Okay, you are a dismal failure, and all the governors that have your worldview, your progressive Democrat worldviews, and all the mayors and the district attorneys that have your progressive Democratic worldviews are failing our cities and failing our communities. We don't want you guys in. Get out. Plain and simple. Yeah, that's what I think. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. God bless you all. See you again.